Good day everyone, Brayden here coming to you from the Hollywood Studios parking lot. You might be saying, wait a minute, I thought this was an Epcot vlog. I thought we were taking a look at the latest work on Ratatouille, and we are. The reason I parked here in Hollywood Studios is because if I had parked at the front of Epcot to get the great views of the construction, I would have had to go through the temperature check, security, scan my ticket, then go through Epcot, out the International Gateway, then onto the Skyliner, then I'd have to get off at Riviera, turn back around, then head back, and then go through the temperature check, the ticketing, the security, all of that again. So now instead, as we enter Epcot for the first time, we'll be able to see all the latest work on Ratatouille. These are the levels you have to be operating at to call yourself a Walt Disney World pro, or just a little crazy. All right, let's get on the Skyliner. Heading over to Epcot on the Skyliner, there was actually a bit of rain, which has never happened to me before. That was pretty wild. There was actually some lightning in the area, so they shut down the Skyliner after I got off. But while I was up there taking a look at the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure construction, you can see things are really starting to wrap up on the project. There are workers on the scene putting on the final touches. You can actually see the signage is already in place for the Creperie, which is the new restaurant that is going to be behind the France Pavilion, where you're going to be able to get authentic French crepes. And then in the distance, of course, you can see Remy's Ratatouille Adventure itself in that big green box with that partially two-dimensional facade that I don't think looks the best, and then also the 3D facade, which I think looks really nice. It is really coming together quite quickly here, which you can also see from the ground here in the International Gateway area, looking over at the France Pavilion behind it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go off to the side, off to the right side, facing the front of the France Pavilion. You're gonna take that walkway around, and that is where everything is going to go down. You can also see the Gusteau's signage. Now, I have heard from folks, I haven't been able to confirm this, that the inside of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is complete, that they were testing it quite recently. So the question becomes, if the ride is possibly complete, and you can see they've already put the signage out in the Creperie, that looks ready to go. It looks like they're putting the final touches on the pathway, and then all they have to add is the landscaping, and it's ready to go. That only takes a few days. Why do we not even have an opening date for this attraction? And just like everything else this year, I think we can make a pretty good educated guess that it is something to do with the physical distancing that Disney has implemented. Looking at Disney's attraction openings, they are always extremely popular. You have a bunch of people that line up super early to see the new attractions. Even looking at things that aren't super huge, like remember when Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opened? That was after the illness came to the United States, and Disney still held that grand opening, and there was tons of crowds. I was there. I was actually a little scared, because as you guys probably know, I was talking about the illness as far back as January and how Disney would respond to it. So that's the reason I think we don't have an opening date for Ratatouille. I don't think Disney wants a bunch of people showing up at once in a time like this. That would create obvious problems, but the counter to that is Disney already has crowd control measures in place with the park's reservation system, right? So what if they announce, okay, it's gonna open on October 5th, right? Well, probably the park reservations will fill up for that day, but the park reservations are there so that Disney does not exceed their capacity, so they should be fine. But of course, you also have to consider it's also about the distribution of crowds in the park, and when you have a brand new attraction that just opened, of course all the crowds are going to be concentrated back near the France Pavilion and the World Showcase. Now, the two main theories as far as the opening date goes, one is that Disney isn't even going to open this attraction until 2021. That's been one rumor going around, that they're just going to keep it in their bag. They're going to finish the construction here because it's already too far along to stop, right? Have a completed attraction, a new restaurant ready to open when things get back to normal. The other thing Disney could do is just open it anytime unannounced. This is something I thought Disney could do, kind of like a soft opening, but something where they just open the attraction casually. It's not a big deal. So the first day it's open, no one even knows it's going to open, so there won't be big crowds. And then the attraction could just be casually open, and then once things go back to normal and Disney wants more crowds in the parks, then they can make a big deal about how they have this new attraction in the World Showcase featuring the characters from the hit Disney Pixar classic Ratatouille. I think that would work. And you know, who's to say that Disney has to do their opening ceremony or dedication ceremony when the attraction actually opens? Why can't they just hold a really cool press event later on? Well, after the attraction is opened and it's sort of under the radar capacity, where it's really us, the Disney super fans and such, that know that there's a new ride in Walt Disney World and it's not a big deal, and then Disney can make a big deal out of it later on, and that way they can sort of even out the flow of crowds to check out this new attraction. At the very least, I can guarantee you at least one of these theories is correct. I really do think the physical distancing thing is the main reason why we might not see Ratatouille get an opening date officially. The question is Disney still gonna open the attraction, or are they gonna wait on it until things return to normal? I just can't imagine Disney having something like this ready to go and just not opening it. It's definitely a very fluid situation, so I'll keep you up to date on all of it right here as soon as we get any official news from Disney. Now, let's head into the park and see what's going on in the rest of Epcot. Here's something random. Right below where we were just talking, you can see a portion of the pathway has been ripped up over here. Look at that. Wonder what they're doing. Probably some utility work. Over here at the France Pavilion, you can see today we have some pretty big lines. Of course, these are physically distanced lines, so they look a little bigger than they are, but some big lines for the France booth here at Epcot Food and Wine. Nothing on the menu really pops out to me, but clearly it does to other people. Let me know what you guys think. Looking out into the World Showcase Lagoon from the France Pavilion, the one thing that pops out to me right away is that crane that Disney is using to assemble the Harmonious barges. That is behind the African outpost. That is where Disney is building the barges for the new permanent fireworks spectacular that is coming here to Epcot. The show is going to feature all sorts of Disney characters, Disney music, all sorts of intellectual property. And as you know, I'm a big Epcot purist, a big Epcot fan, how it very much has almost its own intellectual property to it. So as you can imagine, I'm not super excited for the show content-wise, but looking at the barges themselves, the infrastructure of this show, I am very excited to see Harmonious out on the water here in Epcot. Because if you look at the latest aerials from BioReconstruct, you can see just the sheer scale of those barges, just how big those screens are going to be when they're out on the World Showcase Lagoon. And it really seems like, if you look at the progress on the barges, some of them seem pretty close to completion. The question is, when are we going to see those LED panels installed on those barges? One reason they may have not been installed yet is because it's just still a work in progress. Another is perhaps they're waiting to see when fireworks spectaculars are going to come back here to Walt Disney World. Maybe Disney doesn't even know when exactly it is going to be safe for them to bring those back, or when they want to bring those back budgetarily. So that could be something as well. The chief financial officer of the Walt Disney Company, Christine McCarthy, a couple days ago was talking about Disney tightening down on their budget and where they're focusing their money, the money that they do have to spend on projects, and what is a priority and what is not. And she said, and this is not surprising, the projects that are priority here in the parks are the ones already in progress, right? One she mentioned was the Star Wars Hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser. Of course, they want to open that as soon as possible, so it's open alongside the Galaxy's Edge hype here, with a lot of people coming to Walt Disney World to check out Galaxy's Edge. But another reason I think that one in particular is a priority for Disney is because that hotel, if it succeeds, is going to make Disney a ton of revenue, where they can show the benefit of it to the shareholder right away. Whereas something like Ratatouille or some of these attractions Disney's working on, it's sort of a second-hand money earner for them, right? Because it's, oh, we open this new attraction, more people spend money on tickets. It's sort of indirect. With the Star Wars Hotel, we open it, we're gonna have a lot of people buying expensive tickets to take part in this once-in-a-lifetime experience. So it makes sense that that one's a priority for Disney. She also said the Avengers campus out in Disneyland is a big priority, which makes sense. Marvel is huge. And also, of course, anything that's too far along for Disney to stop. You know, looking at things like the Tron coaster, which we covered yesterday, Ratatouille today, and two others you have to think about is the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind attraction in Future World, as well as the Play Pavilion. And interestingly, CFO Christine McCarthy didn't say anything as far as investing more money into Epcot, where just last year they announced and started this enormous overhaul to Epcot, where right now the middle of Future World is a giant pit. There's been a rumor for a long time that World Celebration Festival Center structure isn't going to be happening. It's just not realistic. And more evidence towards this is Disney canceled the sale of the Epcot poster, the World Celebration poster that featured that building. So that might be more evidence towards that project being on hold or perhaps canceled at this point. The center of Epcot thing is very interesting because it's not like Disney can just leave it like this, right? They have to do something with it. And the fact that they're not talking about that project in particular as something they're investing money in is very interesting. So let's head over to Future World and see for ourselves if there's any active work. Look at that Orange Bird Sipper Cup. $15. Oh man, I don't know. All right, everyone, going into Future World, I think we're gonna start off over on the Future World East side, where here you can see the entire side of the Play Pavilion. The first thing new here in Future World East, not too newsworthy, but it looks like the restrooms over here are just about ready to open. The walls are down, but they are not open yet. I'm sure normal people find this odd. It is kind of odd, but it is the first time we've seen this new signage, so it's good to document it with the new Epcot font, the new style. Over here you can see the temporary mouse gear location, the new one that is coming together. They've been doing a lot of welding in there lately, but that's really been the extent of it. We should get a better view from from the other side of Future World in a moment. Over by Gardens of the Galaxy, here you have the former Wonders of Life building, which is becoming the Play Pavilion, which is going to have all sorts of interactive exhibits and such. Here you can see virtually all of the original gold tiles, the metal tiles, have been replaced with some sort of temporary vinyl, some sort of plastic it looks like. This is likely to anchor something on the inside of the pavilion. My guess would be they're hanging up that projection ceiling, which is going to make the inside of the pavilion look like you are in some sort of city, some sort of digital city. We'll see what happens there. And then last up here in Future World East, here you can see the front of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. This is going to be the Q building and where you load the attraction. The change here since reopening has been Disney has completed welding those sheets of metal to the roof. Those, I believe, are the backings for the solar panels, where the solar panels are going to go. Some sort of heat sink maybe. This is one of the festival booths that's not yet open, that is coming this fall. So the official Food and Wine Festival hasn't technically started. Should be very soon. All right, we finally made it up to the Imagination Pavilion. This is the best spot to take a look at the work happening in the center of Future World. Here you can see right now, I don't see any construction workers, and also I don't see any physical sign of progress since the last time we were here 2 weeks ago and filmed the center area. Everything looks just about identical for the most part. I really can't see anything different. Now, that doesn't mean that work isn't going on in the center area, although that's possible. It really looks like not much is happening right now. What could be happening is they are working, but they're working on something that isn't very noticeable from a distance, you know, things like utilities inside the new mouse gear. I know they're working hard on the new mouse gear location. That's something they have to complete. So I do think they are doing work there, but beyond that, it really looks like this center area, this crater in the middle of Future World, is at a little bit of a standstill right now. We'll keep tracking everything going on here in Future World, minute by minute, day by day. Now it's time to head over to the World Showplace, where inside there is now Food and Wine Festival merchandise for sale. Oh my gosh, look at this. You got Figment for $20. That's pretty awesome. I'm surprised to see so much Figment stuff for Food and Wine. This is not for Festival of the Arts. This is the Food and Wine Festival. It really seems like Figment is the Festival of the Arts mascot, and Ratatouille, Remy, he is the mascot of Food and Wine. There's a lot of Figment stuff here. That's awesome. Here you can see we have some men's merchandise. Not a lot of men's merchandise in Walt Disney World these days, I've noticed. This is really cool. It says Brews Around the World. I really like the Spaceship Earth design. That looks awesome. For $20, you can get yourself a Taste Your Way Around the World mug. Of course, it wouldn't be the Food and Wine Festival without the wine. The wine glasses they're selling here. Disney must make a ton of money off of these. They have those for everything, you know? They have Spirit jerseys all the time. Check this out. They've got a Figment, Chef Figment plate. Whoa. You can see they even have some Chef Figment 25 years pass holder exclusive stuff. The thing that stands out to me on these is, if you notice on the bottom, it is a Spaceship Earth pattern. So everyone, that's gonna do it for this vlog here in Epcot, taking a look at all the latest on Ratatouille, Future World, all of that. You might have been wondering where I got this mask. This mask is for sale on our Teespring store, link in the description below. It is the Geodesic Energy Mask. Sometimes you see the products below our videos. It doesn't show all of them, so be sure to go to that link, go to the store if you wanna check out what masks we have available. The outside is polyester, that's what's printed on, and then the inside of the mask, the inside layer, is cotton, which is pretty nice. I like that a lot. Be sure to subscribe to those notifications on so you don't miss any of the videos we have on the way. We definitely have a lot going on. If you can't tell, I've been sort of making the rounds around Walt Disney World, so I'll continue. I think we're going to check out Hollywood Studios and the Animal Kingdom next. Thank you guys so much for watching live from the World Showplace in the World Showcase here in Epcot. I'll talk to you soon. This is Brayden. Have a magical day.